Raba Yasar, Ranani Kawun Nisut Nabab Sawaw Atum Rayay Afaf Ptah, and I am one of the many student teachers of the Master Teacher, Nabab Yanun. Today's update is called Alexander the Great Devil. Alexander called the Great. The Greek was a member of the Egyptian mysteries and also the greater mysteries. The Phoenician, later-day Caucasian who called themselves Egyptians. The Macedonians, 332 to 305 BC. He was said to have lived 332 to 323 BC, followed by the mixed seed of Egyptians called Ptolemies. Married a Persian prince named Roxanne and died in Babylon at age 32. All of his offspring were murdered and his empire was divided up between his generals. One of these Ptolemies became king of Egypt, founder of the Ptolemaic dynasty between 305 through 30 BC. Others say much longer onto 33 AD. Alexander the Great was known for being crazy and a homosexual. So he was a member of the Egyptian mystery system set up for invaders who wanted the secrets of which they got none. Only secreted portions, 3 degrees only. And by the time he came on the scene around 333 BC, the way was clear for just about anything the Caucasians wanted to put forth, and this is why Alexander was able to march unopposed into Egypt, Eastern and Northern Africa, and elsewhere. Also, Alexander had sworn his allegiance to the objective of the Egyptian mystery system of which he was a member, which became the Rosicrucian order, or the Rosicrucian degree of the phoenix of a vast clandestine spy system of Caucasians whose aim was to deceive and deprive the Negroid they called Morenos or Moors of their ruling power and independence. From this order sprung all secret European orders, Freemasonry, Knights of Columbus, and so on and so forth. The Canaanite spy ring was the key that opened and cleared the way for Alexander's march. Once the Canaanites were admitted into the lesser Egyptian mysteries, of course, the power they received by wearing an apple tree of the garden-colored fez, or the Arabic faz X, but it would in time turn advised like their nature was. Born a liar, born a killer, born a deceiver, born a thief. But his power was enough to make the spy system successful by help of the crescent moon symbol of their god, lunar, lunatic, lunacy, which they live by this very day. You see, the lunar or moon has no light, knowledge, or its own, only a reflection. It is a she by nature. His mother, Helena, was his own goddess. Hellenism. Why they greet hello. His father Philip, king of Macedon, gave him at age 14 to learn under Aristotle, who he found had only learned from Egypt all he knew. Alexander the Great was falsely built up as a great conqueror, but he was a fake, who the Caucasian spy system chose to take the bows for their work, and spy system had done as Knights of Hospitaller. On the Knights of the Eagle to the Knights of the Templar. Knights means just the spy at night. Most of the Greek lovers of wisdom, philosophers, and members of the spy system, who were also members of the system of Rose, as the leper Rose. Seeker of pure blood, so many of these spies met with ill fate, for their deceit and broken vows. Many of them fear their own dark-skinned teacher, being they are foreign to their people, but their women love to mix with the Moors, who even took many Caucasian women as their slaves for sex. Many of the Caucasian men hated this attraction and turned on their own master teachers, killing many of them and even enslaving some of the Moors. They broke them up into groups: Bey, Turkish; El, Morocco; Ali, Arabia, and others, to know from whichever came. So the Moorish teachers, many were killed, some died in prison in shame and disgrace for trusting these people. But because of Alexander's deception, they put a curse on him, and he died for intemperance, drunkenness, and early age of 32. The Alexandrian group of Christian schools in Egypt that was started around 300 BC and was named in honor of Alexander the Great. From them came such chapters of Coptic Church, Reformed Jews, Stoic, Gnostic Essence, Zealots, and others were listed, others who lasted until the advent of Jesus and for the time after. But the Essens, who were also called Zealots, were from who Mary received the liquid gold. They kept the scriptures, the copper scroll of all hidden secrets on the Dead Sea Scrolls. So you have now only 4 Gospels in your New Testament. None save the last book of John is true, and even has been mistranslated. They have no factual backing when it comes to what is called the Immaculate Conception, which does not mean virgin birth. It means clean birth, nor is there facts known by those people on the resurrection of the dead. They were not taught this until way after. This kind of doctrine came with the many councils or at Nice, and the most published 4 similar books, and to proclaim the 4 eyewitnesses, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, who had no contact with each other and wrote their own books in 4 different places. They don't know the exact dates, 4 Gospels or 4 Gospels. 3 of these books were copied from one, the book of John, but they added stories not found in the book of John, and stories left out of their 3 books or Gospels. They were really all taken from the record kept by Khnum, or Yah-Khnum, became Yah-Khanan, or the Asad Osiris Book of the Dead. In Egypt, it's called the Papyrus of the Coming Forth by Dawn, Day. The Bible is the book of the dead people or ghosts, so it's all real. So it's all the real book of the dead. The Anpu or Anubis, the black dog symbol of death, guide, or reverse dog, you get God. So once all the people who lived with Jesus was dead, and Canaanites could tell the people anything after those who knew the truth was ghost or dead or died. So you see the true meaning of the cross symbol of death. So it's all in the churches, or churches for a mental dead, and it is the graveyard for the physical dead, and it became the cross or the crescent. And the crescent refers to the phases of the moon. The lunar phase of 30 days as the moon moves around the earth. Woman, Mary, who receives its light from the sun, the father or Isis, and Re. The moon is lifeless and has no light of its own. So you see how their religious symbols came about. Be it the sun or Mosesism, north, south, east, west, of the movement of the moon, or the stars, sun, the crescent moon. Sun is life, moon is death. These are their symbols, all from the Egyptian Book of the Dead, or the Egyptian Book of the Pyramid. which they say the pyramid was burned with the Egyptian pharaohs, so it to them was also a cemetery. As taught by Zahudi, sometime called Thoth or Hermes, or Trimegas. Zahudi is known as the moon god, presiding over scribes and knowledge. So you see the symbol of books and what they should contain with Tahuti, and he as the moon god. Also as a scribe, also as a sacred ibis bird, a baboon, Simeon, and he has on his head a crescent moon, and in it sits the sun disk. Some say moon disk. They also had a council of Chaldeans in 451 AD, but later rose the Protestants to change the teachings and make new Bibles. So the etymological meaning of the word gospel is ghost spell, or spell of the ghost, meaning ghost of God. Ghost spooks work by spell or fantasy. Ghost spooks work by spell or fantications, and is therefore spellbinding, and nine ether works by reasoning through right knowledge, right wisdom, and right understanding. Facts beyond a doubt, the book of the living, ever living. Disclose of the true history of the Bible and Quran is what will destroy ignorance of the oppressing and helps to open the escape route to liberty, freedom from self-hate. There is so much they have changed and lied about themselves, pretending to be a part of the world when in fact they only kill, lie, steal, and rape. Can they be saved? No, it's not their choice. They rather destroy the whole planet than to submit to their true gods, Negroids, while their females seek Negroid men. Now, Caucasoid men do the same. They take on many names. Now, Caucasoid men do the same. They promote Greek sexual culture and Roman sexual culture. They take on many names today. You can't believe the name Jew means a race. They call themselves Jews to make a point. The 11 sons of Canaan has intermixed amongst themselves so much. Now you find Irish Jews, Polish Jews, Spanish Jews, and their daughters have married and had children. So you can't look at their fur color, eye color, and say her or she is not a blank. They all work together against darker people. The East Indians trust them, and the Japanese trust them. They can never be trusted. They only think for their own. They hate and fear others because if their seed mix with any other, they're gone forever. If Caucasoid mixed with Mongoloid or Negroid, the outcome is a darker person. The Protestant means to protest. That is the strict laws of their Catholic religion, Christianism. One who protests the established religious rules. This was started by the Canaanites of German roots named Martin Luther, and another with French roots named John Calvin. Around 1620 AD, of course, Europe, as they pretend. It's about Catholicism. It was not. It was more about being able to retreat as they have back to saving lifestyles. As you see world over under the same Christendom or Reformed Jews and modern Muslims. So Catholicism and Protestantism and their many branches and denominations spread the world with this loose life of do whatever you can to get away with. Now the world is two groups, religious and political. Both have leaders and rule people. both lie and steal and kill people in the name of justice or just us, Caucasians. So the first word was the Reformation. That is to reform, go back to beast life, a savage. It spread all over it spread all over Europe fast. You then had under religion the government, rulers and the national rulers, or like today, religion and state, in time state laws, replaced all religious or Bible laws of God. So the Caucasians could kill, rape, steal, and enslave, be what he is by nature, evil. They could pretend to represent the people's needs by these new man-made laws to protect what he does to others, protect his race only. For instance, if there were two separations of church and state, the oppressed would know that it is the oppressor who keeps the oppressed ignorant and captive and used to fight his wars. Protect his things, give them a uniform, a gun, and a promise of equal rights, and the oppressed go out among their own and kill for the master. Kill for the master, or travel to other lands and kill. For this man whose own sons don't have to go. You know that has to be a spell. Negroids claim they believe in the words of the Bible. The God of that Bible says don't kill. This man comes to them who don't even believe in the Bible, and they go out and kill in the name of the flag and the country that is not even theirs. It's the evil spell of their sixth ether God, the God of the same slave master that killed your African family. He only wants you to condemn our own souls for him, to work for him, to want to be like him. You cannot trust anything he says, does. If he says it's good for you, that's a lie. If he says he will help you, that's a lie. If he says he cares for you, that's a lie. Their Bible says in flat out John 8 verse 44, Jesus says they Canaanites are liars. Why do you trust their smile? They are past the bone and only wish you to work for them, believe in them, or die. No beginning, no ending.
So according to line 7, the Rosicrucians were a spy order, a European spy order, made to look like Moors in order to get information from the Egyptian schools and take it back to the Europeans?
Yeah, as he explained that most all the degrees were taken from the Egyptian mysteries, which they only got 3 degrees of, and then later on they turned it into a whole bunch of different orders. But it started with the Rosicrucian order, and then it branched off into Freemasonry and Knights of Columbus.
So even the Rosicrucians today would be just sort of like a copied order?
I didn't hear you.
Even the Rosicrucians today, do they have the same objective? Are they aware because they're still active?
I'm not entirely sure, but I'm not entirely sure if they know this objective. As he said, a lot of stuff gets watered down through time, so it's hard to tell. Any other rereads? Tower half for coming out, Yasar. Travel safe, get home safe.